Anime originals and animes are like peanut butter and jam. They're always going to slap. Over the years, many companies have taken the task at creating their very own originals, and came out making some of the most well-known and respected shows known today. Production IG has made Psychopaths and Fully Cooley. Studio Trigger has Kill la Kill under their belt. Studio Manglo, despite no longer being around, has made Samurai Champloo. And there's also other shows like Gurren Lagann, Vivy, and Ergo Proxy. And now, following this trend, PA works with their new original anime, Buddy Daddies. Buddy Daddies is nowhere near the level of all of the previous shows I listed, but for this winter season, we got a new spin to the whole taking care of a baby trope, and for the most part, it didn't disappoint. This is a show most of you probably wouldn't remember. I mean, look at its competition. This show is missing a lot of things that would draw an average anime viewer to watch it. There isn't any flashy animations like Demon Slayer, the character designs isn't anything unique like say Bleach, and there definitely isn't any abstract story being told. I know the name sounds a little crazy, but what lies behind the show is a vast amounts of emotions, vibes, and very likable characters that makes you completely invested when you watch this show. Take a look at this poster and tell me 3 things that comes to mind when seeing this. If you're like any normal person, you most likely would have said guns, a kid, or
Spike's Family LGBT edition.
A lot of comparison the show gets is Spy Family, but if you ask me, Buddy Daddies is not at all a copy and paste of that show. The only similarities they really share is having the same trope. The approach the two shows takes at tackling this genre is completely different. Spy Family starts with Lloyd adopting Anya to help him with his mission, and the same applies when it comes to Yor. Obviously without the whole you get the point. Yor is an assassin, Lloyd is a spy, and the biggest difference is Anya being a sidekick. Buddy Daddies in the beginning of the show follows 2 characters, Kazuki and Rei. They, from the start of the story, live together, and their relationship is already formed from the very beginning. They're more of a 2 friends living together and are roommates. Kazuki is a lady killer who's also a contract killer that specializes in planning and using his wits to get through pretty much any situation. Rei is an assassin who throughout the entirety of the show mostly stays to himself. He's quiet but has a much higher physical ability than Kazuki. He's mostly the character in the show that goes bang bang, and for some reason he sleeps in a bathtub. What? Don't look at me. If you ask me, that's perfectly normal. If you don't sleep in a bathtub, you might want to reevaluate where you sleep. Seriously though, who sleeps in a bathtub? I've never seen that before. On the first episode, they go on a contract mission to kill this guy. They had a disguise, guns, a way to bypass security. Everything was going as planned. Kazuki enters the elevator, and all he had to do now is... How the hell did she get past everyone? This is Mirai. The whole reason of her being here is to find her papa. She eats cake, almost gets shot, and interferes with their mission, making it a small chance their target will get away. So with this in mind, Rei goes full on John Wick and starts taking out everyone. Fast forward into the episode, Mirai gets captured, they save her, yada yada yada. Now, with Mirai somehow being there, and with no parental guardian, Kazuki plays a role of being her papa. Throughout the progression of the story, Kazuki and Rei slowly develops a bond with Mirai, and seeing them go by their day-to-day life is really wholesome. The show bounces from lighthearted moments to all of a sudden being serious when it needs to be. They blend these 2 themes perfectly, from Mirai sticking up for her friends, to Rei in the beginning viewing Mirai as sort of a hassle, but one day even go as far as to even claim to be her papa as well, to Kazuki having to face his own personal struggles. At the heart of this show, this is what separates Buddy Daddies from the other shows airing this season, especially when compared to what they did to Tokyo Revengers or Boruto.
I'm sorry, I thought this was the bathroom. Oh, good lord!
There was this one time when Kazuki and Rei were behind work and money was falling short. They couldn't afford to constantly be at home taking care of Mirai, so they decided to place her into primary school. This worked for 2 reasons. 1, they could go back to their day-to-day life throughout the evening, handling contract missions, going to clubs, etc. And 2, Mirai can interact with kids her own age. The day they found a school to place her in, the teacher made it clear that there were materials and things she needed before she could start her first day. Simple things like an apron, change of clothes, a backpack, things that every kid needs when starting school. They go out and sort of go overboard, only to be met that everything needs to have her name stitched onto it. Her towels, pajamas, sweatpants, everything. They spent the entire night learning and stitched every little thing to include her name. Moments like these is what defines their bond, and it really shows you how much they care for Mirai. Things they're unfamiliar with is things they need to learn when raising a kid. This show was able to get very dark when needed to be. This next part is going to be a spoiler, so skip to this timestamp. Did you skip? Alright. Kazuki grew up having no parents. The only real connection he had with someone is with his wife Yuzuko. One day during a target mission, his assigned target was running away, and as he was chasing him, the guy hijacked someone's car. Attempting to flee, his partner at the time shot the tires out, causing him to crash onto a truck carrying gasoline. Now somehow, his wife miraculously is standing beside the car, and as he screams out to her, despite it being 5 years, he blames himself for her death and is afraid of forgetting her, having her split out of his memory, and change. His past is something that is always lingering, and is something he will never forget. Wow, I bet you wasn't expecting that from a show titled Buddy Daddies. Kazuki and Rei each have their own personal struggles that they face. Mirai acts as a bridge for the both of them. She, in a lot of ways, helps them overcome their dark past. Considering the nature of their jobs and their background, coming home to Mirai and raising her to have a better upbringing than what they had shapes their characters, and over time they change significantly. There are a lot of things that happens in this story that leaves you with many questions. Who does Kazuki and Rei work for? What happened to Mirai's real parents? And what are their end goals? Eventually, Mirai is going to get older, and they need to start considering if what they're doing now is what's best for her future. They both can die at any moment, and this show isn't afraid to show the consequences of their jobs. The art for this show is pretty good. It fits the theme and the nature of the story perfectly. At times it's really bright and vibrant, but when they want to portray a more subtle and sad emotion, they blend in dark colors nicely. The soundtrack isn't anything unique, it's pretty standard for what you would hear for its genre. But nonetheless, Buddy Daddies is a show I'm sure a lot of you would resonate with. Whether that be to watch it for its wholesome moments, watch it for Kazuki and Rei, or just to experience something different than just shonen all day. I like the premise and the vibe of this story, and it's something that should be on your radar. There are currently 8 episodes at the time of this recording. Watch it and let me know what you think. Also, the ending slaps.